number 7, water strategy, an update on our floodplain mapping, Christy.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to provide a very brief update on the status of the district's emerging floodplain mapping project. Since I was last before you on the item, we are very pleased to announce that we have, through the district's RFP process, retained Hatch Engineering in conjunction with Tulloch Mapping to undertake the project. And they've initiated the work, and it's expected to take approximately 2 years, or hopefully less. And apart from Hatch being a Canadian-based company, they also have been very helpful to the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry in the past because of their work in the early 2000s with floodplain mapping, data modeling, simulation of flows in the area. And that work in turn was used for the Muskoka River Watershed Management Plan. And so I think that even though the province isn't a formal partner in this project, despite it being a broker of funds through the federal funding that we have for this project to this municipality, it's very helpful to have Hatch be part of our project team because of their sense of the complex geography of the watershed, but also particularly because they understand the regulatory system that we all work in. So we're very pleased to have Hatch be our team. And we plan to report back regularly to you at the key project milestones throughout this project. And certainly you can reach out to us anytime if needed through the project. And if there are questions today, we can talk about that now. Thank you.
You mentioned Hatch. Is it another consultant or just the one consultant?
Hatch is an engineering firm, and they're a large firm, international actually, but Canadian-based. And so that is the project manager. And then they have sub-consultants. Tulloch Mapping is a secondary sub-consultant with Hatch, and they're also Ontario/Canada based.
Any questions for Christian? And when's this going to start?
It did.
Okay.
We just started. We've just retained Hatch, and they've initiated project meetings with the team, and we'll be meeting again with the province in the new year, but it has started, and prior to the close of 2019, we'll have finished the project.
So it's basically a 2-year project.
Hopefully less.
Okay. Councillor Keller?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Christy, for updating us. I'm just wondering, how does the community know this is up and going and aware that this project is moving forward?
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, we wanted to announce it to you first. It is that new, actually. The RFP process has just concluded not that long ago. We're still inking the arrangements with Hatch, although they've taken on the project in earnest. So the community can be informed to the extent that you wish it to know. But I would say at the outset, this is a technical exercise. It won't require community consultation. It should be technically based and led by the district to do that. But we can certainly take your input on that right now.
So if I could follow up on that, Mr. Chair. I wasn't implying that it was a public forum, but really to advise that we are going through this process and the fact that it's being looked at, because there are a lot of concerns about the flooding issue, and I think it's important that the community know we started the process.
Thank you, Councillor. And through you, Mr. Chair, I'd say that I think in this case, because of the high visibility of this project and the interest of so many groups, the lake associations, and each area municipality, it would be prudent for us to develop, staff to develop a communications plan around this. Communications are happening, but we wanted first to be with you today to announce it. But then I think we will develop some key messages that we all can share with our constituents and your constituents, and certainly our communities across the nation.
Yeah, I think part of that communication plan has to be 2 ways. I think at some point, maybe in 2019, I think the community is going to want to be able to comment on the results and so on and get some feedback. But so hopefully it's both ways eventually.
If I could engage on that question, I want to say at the outset that this is very much a technical exercise. It's an engineering exercise primarily. It really is hydrological flows and looking at delineations of where high water may go. in only certain vulnerable portions of the watershed too, I'd say, in bites of all of our towns and townships, but not right across our watershed. It's too large an area for that in this phase, in any case. So we can certainly raise it with the public. We do want to raise interest because it is a formidable project that we're bringing forward. At this point, though, I'd say we should cautiously approach the idea of public input. We can have public awareness, but that's quite different than public input.
I think more public comments, because I think this will be a controversial project once it's complete, and I think some people may or may not agree with the science. So I think at some point we have to have a discussion with the public. But that's just my perspective. But we can worry about that latter part of 2019.
Well, then let's agree to worry about that later. But in principle, I would say that we will have those discussions as we come. We're going to routinely update you at key milestones throughout this project. And as I've said, you can contact staff and through me or Madam Commissioner at any time about the project. But today, let's agree that this is really a technical exercise, I would say, to initiate the project and have public awareness be created. I think that is an important point. But the input idea will come to discussion.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I will just add, in the project plan, there is an open house at the end of the process where the results would be presented to the public. And I think the opportunity for input and feedback is what we do with the information in the future. Does that lead to some policy changes? Does it lead to, building restrictions? What are the implications of that happening once we get it? And I think that's where the benefit of public input would be most helpful.
That sounds reasonable. Okay, any other questions for Christy? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.